Hello and welcome back to another card making video. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we will be creating a fun Halloween card using components from the Spellbinders 13 Days of Craftoween 2025 Advent Calendar. This box features 13 days of items that include 13 dies, 1 clear stamp, and 1 sequin pack. To create this card, we will be using Day 2, Day 3, Day 4, Day 7, and Day 11. Each day is paired with a sentiment from the stamp set included in the box. Day 2 is a fun scarecrow and skull using the Wishing You a Mysterious Halloween Night. Day 3 is a spooky poison bottle using the Trick or Treat You're So Sweet sentiment. Day 4 is the fun pizza-loving ghost who also comes with a pumpkin, boo banner, and Halloween cat, paired with the I Wanna Pizza You sentiment. Day 7 is the Magic and Mischief Awaits books, candle, and spellbound banner. Day 11, a haunted house with a cute bat and a sentiment, Enter If You Dare. As a reminder, all of the products will be listed in the description box below. We will be creating a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch top folding card using gray cardstock from Gina K Designs. I will also be using the My Favorite Things brick stencil to create my background. Using some low tag tape, I'm going to tape down my stencil to help hold it in place since we will be applying Distress Grit Paste in the color Crypt. Using a palette knife, I'm going to spread the paste all over my panel, making a point to apply an uneven layer all over my background. I'm also going to make sure that my layer is applied very thin to help with drying time. Of course, the thicker the layer, the longer it'll take to dry. After I've applied my paste, I'm going to slowly lift up my stencil, and I'm going to immediately clean the paste off my palette knife and stencil. You don't want the paste to harden on your tools. If you're unable to clean them off right away, I would recommend having a bowl of warm, soapy water to place your tools inside while you continue to craft. I would recommend using liquid adhesive to glue all your pieces together. My favorite, of course, being Gina K Designs Connect Liquid Adhesive. However, you could use any glue medium you have in your stash. To save some time, I did pre-cut all of my die cut pieces, and I would also recommend using reverse tweezers when assembling all of your die cut pieces. Since my bird is completely black, I decided to cut the beak, wing, and feet out of the Tim Holtz black metallic cardstock. I also cut his bow tie and the ribbon from the hat. I'm not sure if it's really a ribbon, but for the video, I'm going to call it a ribbon out of Tim Holtz gold metallic cardstock. For texture, I did cut the hat out of black glitter cardstock. There will be a slight moment of silence while I continue to assemble the bird. I will be using gray cardstock and black colored cardstock for the books. I'm also going to be using the same gold metallic cardstock for one of the book's spine and bookmark. To go with the haunted theme, I'm going to use Distress Oxide inks in the color Antique Linen and Old Paper to color in the pages of the book. To apply the ink, I will be using a paper pouncer, and I'm also going to use the same Distress Oxide colors on the skulls, the candles, and the bones. Once I'm done applying my ink, I will spritz water for added texture. Distress Oxide inks are water reactive, and for added shimmer, I will be applying Distress Spritz in the colored Fossilized Amber. Once again, there will be a moment of silence while I add ink to my die cut pieces and assemble the rest of the components of the card. This skull did not come with a background piece, so I needed to create one on my own, and I wanted to match my main skull, so I cut out another skull out of black glitter cardstock, and to keep my eyes and nose in place, I used a 3D foam square. I also used the same technique on my apple. Now this apple did come from the Welcome Fall die set, also from Spellbinders, and I'm going to modify the sign into a shelf. Once again, I'm going to add a 3D foam square to the back of my apple so I can inlay the red glitter piece, which is just die cut from red glitter cardstock. Now I wanted to add some depth to my pumpkin, and in order to do so, I'm going to use a blending brush from Waffle Flower and apply Gina K Designs dye ink in the color Tangerine Twist around the edges of the pumpkin. I'm also going to apply the color Dark Sage to the stem. For the shelf, we're going to modify the sign by cutting one of the layers off. Then, using a blending brush, I'm going to apply Distress Oxide ink in the colors Gathered Twigs and Walnut Stain. I'm going to continue to use my liquid adhesive to assemble the candles. To ground my scene, I'm going to cut 1" out of gray cardstock and 1¼ out of white cardstock, so that way I can create a wooden tabletop. I'm also going to heat emboss my sentiment on the gray strip. To create the wooden tabletop, I'm going to use the color charcoal brown and stamp the wood grain using the wood grain background stamp from Lawn Fawn. While I still have my Misti out, I'm going to stamp my sentiment. Because I'm heat embossing, I'm going to prep my cardstock by using an anti-static powder tool. This allows the powder to only stick to my stamped area. Before I adhere both panels together, I'm going to add the color Walnut stain to my tabletop. Using Simon Says Stamp liquid adhesive, I'm going to now adhere both panels together. I'm also going to use the same liquid adhesive to adhere my tabletop to my background. Now keep in mind, we are gluing our panel to texture, and sometimes that can be a little tricky. You just have to have a little bit of patience, and once the glue has time to set, it will stick completely and you won't have any problems. How adorable are these cobwebs? Now the cobwebs do come from Lawn Fawn, and I did cut them out of Lawn Fawn's pearlescent vellum. Once again, since we are gluing die cuts to a textured background, I would recommend having either an acrylic block or paperweight or something heavy that you can lay on top to give your glue time to set. Now the candles do come together, however, it's super easy to cut them apart. You could keep them together, but I decided it would be best to separate them for my scene. This helps fill in some of the empty space without over-cluttering my card. As I assemble my card, I will be using a combination of liquid adhesive and 3D foam squares along with foam tape to bring my scene together. For added bling, I will be using iridescent pearls, and I'm going to adhere them to my cobwebs. I'm also going to add Ranger glossy accents to the bird's glasses. And that will complete today's card project. Thank you so much for watching, and I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really helps. And to all my existing subscribers, thank you so much for your continued support. And until next time, bye!